Hear them jingle bells?
Uh, I did. I was wondering if you were going to add. I thought it was going to, instead of that, I thought it was going to be like, it's the most wonderful time. But you got the bells. I liked it.
I
You
think I'm
added the
gonna
bells.
I think almost like I want to make it like over the next like 4 weeks, let it evolve.
Yeah.
And then like, maybe like the week before Christmas, it's like ho ho
Oh,
ho. You get that?
here he comes. Big man's coming.
I'm gonna spend way more time on this than I should. But it's my ever evolving toy that I just love to play
Eric,
with.
this is the 4th week in a row Everett has left the house without pants. And you're like, that's normal. I don't understand what the problem is.
It's funny that has become the norm actually. He's great. He's great. He's potty trained. He goes potty. He does it on his own. He climbs up on the toilet and he stands on the seat and then squats down and does his thing. And then he gets off and he flushes and washes his hands, but does not put his pants back on.
He's kind of thinking, why bother? I'm
Hey,
here.
whatever.
I'm ready to rock.
Naked and free.
Yeah. Eric, what is this video you have up?
Oh, yeah. Well, hold on. We'll come back to that. No, actually, no. Why come back to it? Let me do this. That's a great question. I have a video up. This is a little. I'm gonna go back to the homepage here.
Who's that handsome? Who's that handsome devil?
He is handsome, isn't he? He is. Yeah. So this is called The Knowledge, and this is a great coaching tool provided by the folks at Best Hour of Their Day, launched by Mr. Pat Barber. I think this is something that he was actually kind of working on, and then Best Hour became this. It kind of came together and became this great resource for affiliates and coaches and heck, even athletes. But what it is it's basically this ever-growing platform of, for example, he goes through. There's 3 videos where he goes through a progression of the push jerk. So going through it, talking through the progression, coaching through it, using all the stuff that you get from your level 1 and your level 2, what to look for and how to do it, and the things you may come across, and then other conversations too, like this one here, 30-minute CrossFit classes in a 30-minute class in the gym. This is stuff for affiliate owners as well.
I think we should just take a moment and go back up, appreciate Jason Fernandez's face right there.
Oh yeah.
If ever anybody shows up late to a class,
yep,
and misses the whiteboard brief and asks a question about something that was covered in the whiteboard brief, you should expect that to be my face.
Yeah, there it is.
Because Fern and I share the DNA, former naval officer DNA of your lateness and inability to understand what is happening is not my problem.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think Fern's face kind of froze in that position.
Perpetually.
Actually,
he's much softer. He's much more softer and touchy and squishy these days. He's much more approachable.
He is a squishy guy. But yeah, so but this has been a really cool resource that they built up, and then it's ever growing. It's cool. They add a new video every day. They drop their knowledge bomb of the day, and so it might be, one of the recent ones we're going to look at today is this pop quiz. But yeah, they shoot a video every day, and they're sometimes just a couple minutes long. Sometimes they're usually no longer than 10 minutes. But he'll even do full episodes. Where Best Hour was already kind of doing this, where they'll actually go through, like they'll have a coach on that videoed their class, and people that are prepping for the level 4, they'll walk through it with whether it's Pat or Ackerman did it a bit, Fern did it a bit, but walk through them as they prepare for the level 4 and what went well in their class and all that good stuff. So what we're going to do today is watch this one in particular on, no, that's pull-ups. Watching this one in particular on, where was it? Thruster. Teaching thrusters. So this coach here submitted a video to Best Hour, to Pat, to run through. He coached this class through a thruster and said, okay, cool. How'd I do? And Pat puts this up and says, okay, folks, watch this video and find what's in the comments below. Mention one thing that he did really well and one thing he could do better.
So let me ask you this. If what do you intend your various audiences to get out of this? So 2-part question, kind of, right? Like your intention, and you got to identify those audiences, and then sort of clarify the intention.
So I think the most important audience, me. Right? Is that our most important audience?
In a
Um,
sense, I mean, right? Like it kind of is because you got to spend the most time with yourself, so you might as well be entertained.
Yeah. Why the dinosaurs died. And so
That's an inside joke, folks. Unless you see Family Guy, unless you watch
unless
Family
you see
Guy, and
Family Guy.
then you know exactly what he's talking about, and stop spending so much time in the bathroom by yourself because you've killed the dinosaurs.
That's where I do my Wordles. So and my waffles.
My
I'm a
waffles,
big
my
fan of
waffles, and my wordles. That's what we're calling it these days.
Yeah. So for me, I could sit and watch the stuff all day. But one thing I wanted to get was I wanted to watch it. I wanted to see someone else coach and test my coaching eye and see what do I see, but then also use you as a resource as someone who has been doing this longer than me and who I am happy to admit is a better coach than me. But having someone better than you helps you up your game. And so I want to see what you see that maybe I didn't see, and then develop my own coach's eye by talking through it with you.
Okay.
So that's audience number one. Sound good?
Yeah. And then so we have 3 viewers.
Yep.
TJ,
Viewer
Andy,
viewer number one.
and my mom. So
Yep.
my mom doesn't watch this. But so we've got let's say we have 2 other notional viewers. We have a
Yeah.
coach, and then we also have somebody who comes to class and isn't a
Someone
coach.
comes
So
to us, or athlete.
what should a client or an athlete in this, what should they expect?
So for them, I want this to be just kind of a behind the scenes, and for what it is when we're up there coaching a class, we're not just going through the motions. And so what you kind of get to see is what is it that we're preparing ourselves for? What are we looking for? What are we doing? What are we thinking about? What are we trying to give you as we go through this? So I could easily stand up there and say, all right, everyone do 5 thrusters. Cool,
Yeah.
good.
Right,
Right,
you're the best. That was awesome, right? Like, sweet. I could just fire up the Tony Robbins video and just have him cheer me along.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'd be in for that. But that's not our job. That's not what we do here, and that's not what we're trying to get out of people. We're trying to get people to move better.
Yeah.
We're trying to get people to feel better. And by doing that, we're going to stand here and we're going to watch you move, and we're going to pick and prod your movement to try to improve it as best as we can in that moment. Does it have to be perfect? No, but does it need to be better than when you started? Yeah, I'd like to think so. Even if it's just
a little bit,
much, just a teeny tiny bit, because it's we got a long way to go.
So and then I think of it too, like from like a in the restaurant metaphors abound, but right, like if I only ever eat McDonald's hamburgers, I never really know, like, and I think that's the double quarter pounder with bacon and cheese is like, I'm like, dude, that's the best burger I've ever had. And you're like, ooh, man, let me take you to this place. And it's like a legitimately like grass-fed, farm raised, locally sourced, like burger, homemade buns, like everything's fresh, blah, blah, blah. You make it and you eat it and you're like, oh my God, what is this in my mouth? Like, I'm like, oh, right. And then you go back to McDonald's, like from like a client standpoint, like they both exist on the spectrum of coaching, or hamburgers in this case, but let's switch the metaphor back to coaching. They both exist on the spectrum of coaching, but there is a definitive difference between good coaching and then just handing out soccer balls and cheering you coaching, which exists. The methodology still is efficacious regardless of the person executing it. That's the beauty of CrossFit. Like it can be effective across the entire spectrum of that coaching continuum. But if a client experiences or gets a glimpse of that like good coaching, then there's like now you should, as a a purveyor of this product, like as somebody who's the user of this product, expect the good coaching. No, you're not always going to get the best burger, but like you start to have a degree of nuances between like, so that when somebody comes into a class and it's like, say, a class I'm coaching and it's decent, right? It's an okay class. like, it's not, that was awesome. That was such a great class. And I'm like, I appreciate that, but it wasn't awesome. Like
Yeah.
it was okay. It was good. And then I actually coach like an awesome class, and somebody goes like, that was an awesome class. I can go, you're right. That was an awesome class. There
Yeah.
should be a starting to like a meshing of our awareness, because then on the other side of it, I think is your coaching audience, your coach's audience who's watching this and is like, okay, I should also know that my clients know that I am going to be relentless on them with movement. So when I cue them and correct them and they come back and they go, well, that doesn't feel right. I don't like that. That's harder. And I go, yeah, because you're finally doing it right. Like that's the idea. Like the client should want me to be relentless, and I should want to be relentless with the client. Like that's the sweet spot of, as you just described, moving all of us just a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. Because perfection, perfection is not real. Not to mention, you could hit perfection. Let's just say this: it's real. Like it's possible. You can't sustain it. It's a moment. It's a glimpse. But like in that moment, you're like, I got it. And now the fun journey is I am perpetually going to be striving to get back to that glimpse. And it's like now you have the moment, now you have the realization of like, perfection isn't the goal. Process is the goal. Because at the end of process, the byproduct of a sound, consistent process, we said, that is happiness. Happiness is never the goal. It's impossible. You can't reach happiness. You can stumble into happiness. It's a byproduct of sound, deliberate, consistent processes that are always geared towards being a little bit better, being a little bit more deliberate. And so I like thinking about those two audiences. They are in constant movement with each other. The coach is always striving for the best interest of the client, and the client is always striving to be the best client he or she can be for the coach who is coaching them. Right? And if that's the give and take that we're always pushing and pulling with each other, fucking A, man, that's happiness. Like at the end of that, sound movement, good movement will happen. And then both parties are like, oh, that was awesome. That was an awesome class. And that's that. You know what I mean? Like so this is, I think, something that can facilitate that for all of us.
Yeah, I totally think about it as a way of let's say this split second of perfection is like your ceiling. Like this is it. And right now this is your floor. But every one of these, like, we're raising that floor just a little bit. And so maybe you don't get back up here, but that margin between the two has become a lot closer, a lot smaller. And so that's what this like I said, for the coach and the athlete, for the coach that runs it, that knows, you know what, wasn't my best class. I can definitely do better. I know what better feels like. Here's what I'll do next time. And the athlete who, it was hard to get those knees out in the bottom of the squat, but we got them out a little bit today.
Yeah.
The next time you come in and your hips are loosey-goosey, you can feel real good. Yeah. So
I just always, I think too of like the moment, like a perfect example is Superman's, right?
Yeah.
What is the number one thing you say to somebody with a Superman? What's like the first thing you say to them when they're about to execute a Superman?
I'm not telling them to squeeze their butt. Are you talking about like
Me
a
too.
cue?
Yeah. I think that would be in my top 3. If it's like 3 to 4 things, right, that you say, like I would agree. Squeeze your butt is like one of the first things I say. But for me, I also say squeeze your butt and get your toes and heels together. Because can you squeeze your butt if your toes and heels are not together?
Not very well.
Not at all. You can't. Like you can pretend you think you can, but then put your toes and heels together. Now squeeze your butt. Oh my God, I can squeeze my butt so much harder, right? And so for me, I always say like, everyone put your toes and heels together. Now squeeze your butt and raise up. And I'm like, I have said that a billion times. And I still have athletes who are surprised when I say, put your toes and heels together.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not sure. That's the part, like, I don't want to go into the into the realm of thinking that that person is like purposefully doing that. I think that's ridiculous. That's absurd on my
Yeah.
part, right? Like that
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. They're great people. But so so then I think, so what's the other option? There's got to be a villain in this story, man. So
Uh-huh.
well, then it must be me, right? Like
Gotta be
I
you.
must not be saying it correctly. But then I'm like, how fucking complicated is to put your toes and heels together, right? Like I don't understand. So then if I'm like, well, if I'm not the villain and they're not the villain, well, then I'm just angry. And so then then it's snarky, like, these are your toes, these are your heels. This is together, this is not together, right? Like nobody likes that fucking guy. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay, so what's the disconnect? And I'm thinking like, wait a second. I think the disconnect is there's an absence of clarity of expectation. So the expectation is, if you want this thing to work, and I'm assuming the people who walk in the door want the most bang for their buck for the amount of money they're spending for the time that they are there, right? Like that,
Yeah.
I'm making that assumption. Maybe that's a faulty assumption, because for me, my time is worth more than the $30 an hour you pay me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get value. The $30 you pay me I am very grateful for that, right? That's a damn good rate and I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
But at the same time, I know that I'm worth more than $30 an hour. And so I've got to figure out where else I get the value. Where I get the value is seeing people improve and
Yeah.
seeing them come to that kind of that spot that you were talking about, raising the floor. So then I think to myself, okay, well then if I have to tell somebody 1,000 times the same thing, there's no value in that.
Yeah.
To me, like that starts to be a devalued sense of the time being spent together. So this is like, oh, well then they're good people. I'm a good coach. We all want the same thing. There's the problem. We haven't established a shared understanding of what we want, of what that thing is. And so if the person says to me, I don't give a shit, I don't want to get any better. Has anybody ever said that to you?
No.
No, of course not. So it's like, all right.
This is not the place if that's how you
Right?
feel. This is the
It's
place.
way too early in the morning
Because I can tell you,
for you to get up.
for the people that have thought that, they don't last long. So
Right. And it's way too cold. So the fact that they're there and they're moving means they give a shit. So maybe it's less of, I'm thinking this should be perfect so we can move on to something else. No. The process is, hey, like it's always an iterative process of like, this is 1 hour of their day that they think about this. I think about this all the time.
all the
So
time.
in the other 23 hours, they're actually forgetting everything we just said. So it's okay to always have to say it. And actually, maybe the routine is the saying it. And so I'm like, oh, right. Do you see it? So I just walk myself. So habit matters. The habit is squeeze your butt, put your toes and heels together, not look, we're going to do a Superman. And I look over and 90% of them are not with their toes and heels together. Instead of being like, you chuckle and go, I forgot to tell them. Remember, put your toes and heels together, right? Like when you break out your Christmas decorations, right? Like you never remember where the stuff is unless you're like me and you have a list. And it's always put away the same way every year, so that when you take it
doing
out,
a list this year. I'm tired of it.
right? Right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Everything's wrapped around hangers, so there's no knots in the light. And it's like Nicole actually found a string of lights, and she goes, "You clearly put these away," and it was like beautifully wrapped, right? Like, and she goes, "But I want to use them for the tree." I didn't put these away, so clearly I didn't use these last year. You did. Do you need these for something else? And I go, oh, that's funny. Actually, babe, no, you did use those last year. But when I put the outdoor lights away, I came across those lights in a box and I wrapped them around the thing for you. So they are your lights and I put them away, but they are yours to use.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh, man.
Awesome. Oh,
Now, dogs need to come. Dogs are coming.
Dogs everywhere.
Anyway, that was a really long digression. I apologize to all three of our listening audiences, you, the clients, and the coaches.
Yeah,
and none of them are watching anymore, but
they will. They will. They will. So cool. Yeah. Awesome. Let's I don't know. Let's get into it, as they say.
See, let's establish some clarity of expectations.
Okay. So we got here. What I'll do is I'll play again. This video is about 6 minutes long. I don't think we decided. Do we want to just let it roll, or do we want to kind of stop? Like if we see something, stop, or
I
like
see,
let it play a little
I'd
bit.
say if it feels like it should be a place to stop, Let's do this. We probably shouldn't go longer than a minute. Nobody has attention span, us included, to be able to go for longer than a minute. So, but if it feels like an appropriate place, holler.
Yeah, let's do it. Cool. I don't lose where are we at right now. We got 2 listeners right now. Hi, everybody. So let's let's get this going. All right. So
all right, coaches, we are back with
another wonderful Pat Barber. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. Yeah, all he's doing is
Todd.
All right.
Got is our
Here's Todd coaching the
thruster. Check it out. Todd teaching the thruster. Let's go. Next thing that we've got is our thruster. This is what we're looking for with our thruster.
So watch him go through his demo.
Yeah.
So it's our front squat and our push press. We're going to start just by warming up our front squat
Okay,
a little bit.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Alrighty. You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So 3 things I'm gonna hit Todd on is one, his people are a mess. Like, are they in line? Are they in a row? Are they in a circle? Right? Like he's got that. He's got like the guy to the closest to us. He's not lined up with the girl next to him. She's not even in a row with anybody else. Like, so like he has already set himself up for failure, because how is he going to, when he gets them into position to see static and dynamic faults, who the fuck is he looking at? Right? Like, so 1, 2, his demo was fine. His movement's fine, right? It's not horrible. Actually, it was fine. His step was good. He got full extension. He only did it once. He did it from the forward view. He did not offer them the side view. You want to, right? He did a great job of not talking during his demo. So bonus points on that. But he needs to do it twice. And then while he's explaining, like, the thruster is a front squat to an overhead press, to a press, like what exactly? I'm not sure, right? Like, if I'm an athlete and I'm watching this, I'm like, I'm all over the place. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, Todd? Like, what's happening here? So those would be my 3 things. Is he's already, the momentum of failure is starting to wash over him, and I'm not even sure he knows it yet. And so that, I would say, shape, right? Grip stance position. There's a reason it works in the Olympic lifts. Like, you got to put your people in the right position. You got to put yourself in the right position. And then you got to make sure when you are moving, you're only doing one thing at a time. So they're all out of position. He's out of position, and he's already trying to do more than one thing at a time. Those would be my, like, in these first 10 seconds, 30, 15 seconds, whatever. Like, I think we're going to see that come up again, perhaps, because he's already set himself up for those faults.
Yeah. I it's funny you said the thing about the spacing. I think it looks like he's got a decent sized space there. And that's like when you have a big, people want to spread out as much as they can.
Chaos.
Right. So when people, like, getting people, like, when I want to coach, like, when I'm trying to get people lined up for whatever movement we're doing, and like if it calls for it, I need people on the other side of the rig. But for the most part, when I'm coaching, everyone's on this side of the rig. When we start the workout, if you want to go back over there, you can.
So I tried your gauntlet setup yesterday. You know what I mean? Like the 2 rows and they're all facing each other.
Yeah.
Which felt kind of fun. Like, it felt like I was at football practice and I was going to run the gauntlet.
Yeah.
But I will tell you why I didn't like it. To demo, your back is always to somebody.
Your back's to somebody. Yeah.
And so I don't like it for teaching a movement type of setup. I would not use it again. It's the same reason I don't like the circle. Just as like I was like, so here's the deal. Why I'm mentioning that. This is, again, remembering our client audience. Look, folks, putting you into lines and rows and order and stuff. It has nothing to do with like, I'm trying to impose some sort of arbitrary will upon you.
Yeah.
It is so that we don't have to waste 15, 20, 30 seconds a rep for me trying to like get around the gym and see everybody. If you're in rows and columns, I can quickly move, see everybody, move, see everybody, move, see everybody, boom, boom, boom. We get to move on to the next thing, right? And everybody gets a little taste of the really good burger. And it's like, sweet. And then you get a little taste of some good fries. And then you get a little sip of the milkshake, right? And it's like, everybody's getting the experience. And it's not like, hey, you had the burger and I only got French fries and my milkshake's all melty, right? Like, because if you just get to be wherever the fuck you want to be in the gym, it's going to be a really shitty meal.
You're gonna get me whenever the fuck I get to you.
You got it, right? And it's going to be cold, or it's going to be what's supposed to be hot is going to be cold, and what was supposed to be cold is going to be hot. So that's where it comes from. Of like, the order is not arbitrary. Putting you into rows and columns is not arbitrary. It has a very specific purpose for the sake of facilitating efficient seeing and correcting, which in the end benefits the client, the athlete moving. So that's, yeah. All right. So Todd, good Todd. I mean, like, I like Todd though. He's a handsome fella and I like his voice and he's got great presence.
He does. Like right out of, I'm locked in.
I'm kind of enjoying Todd's class so far, even though, right, like we're being very critical. That's the thing people have to understand. Like, this is like, we are not here to compliment. Like, if that's the case, different party. This is like, no, kick the shit out of me.
This is the feedback I want when I coach a class. This is what I like. Lay it on.
I feel bad. I don't even know Todd, but like,
I'll get a little cry. I'll get my cry out afterwards, but then
there you go. Right.
I'll move on. All right, here we go.
Here we go. Get you guys in the front rack position. I'm going to tell you to squat. You'll squat and hold. I'll tell you to stand. It's going to look like this.
That was good.
All right. Because the bar is going overhead, we're going to use a full grip today. So go ahead and grab your barbell, pick it up to your waist. Hold it a thumb's length away from that smooth part. Then go ahead and jump it up to your shoulders. Carol, go just a hair wider with your hands, just a touch. Nice. Now move your feet into your squat stance.
We've got stance grip.
Carol, a hair wider than that. Karen, a hair wider than that too. Deb, go a little bit wider with your feet. And Meredith, go a little bit wider with.
I think he has like 4 or 5 other people back there. He's got a.
Yeah. I'm picking up.
When I say squat, you guys are going to squat and hold. When I tell you stand, you'll go ahead and stand up. Go ahead and squat. Nice. Karen, push those knees out hard and wiggle your toes and stand. Nice. Everybody try to drive those elbows up as high as you can while maintaining that full grip.
Stop it. Cool. And he's prepping for his level 4.
So I think that's the purpose. Like, people do this.
Right. And like, that's why we do this. Like, cut on him. Like that. This kid, right? He looks about the same. Like, this guy's got guts, right? Like, this is the heart. Like, he is putting himself out there, and so it's like, this is good. Like, I'm really impressed.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt too. From like, I bet this runs better when he doesn't have a camera on him, knowing that a bunch of people are going to be watching and criticizing.
Totally. Okay. I think he's trying to do too much. So right, what is the goal of this portion of the progression? And if it's to dial in the front squat, he has failed all 4 of those people who are in the frame. But I mean, like, our fella in the black shirt, like, whoa. Like, no. He walked by him while he was doing that front squat and didn't say a word.
Yeah.
Because he's looking at probably the back row, and I get it. He's moving across, so maybe then he's going to move back across and catch the guy in the front. But it's too much. And this is where, because he doesn't have them in any sort of order, he has no progression of CQ, 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 CQ. What's the next thing? Verify Q worked, right? Like that. There's no like 3-part process. You have to see the error, cue the error, verify your cue, fix the error, right? Because otherwise, it's just an empty cue. Good, right? Like that. No. Did what you say change? If it didn't change anything, then you might as well just shut the fuck up, right? Like, don't say anything. So that there was no like feedback loop for himself of whether his stuff worked. And so the byproduct of that is you've got 3 people moving directly in front of him, all badly. Maybe the woman in the back in the black pants and the gray shirt next to the orange stand. She would be the only one that I would say did a decent front squat, though she had no tension in the bottom. She went too deep. Yeah. And so here's the deal. How do you fix that? He didn't identify what this progression was. He said it, but then he didn't actually show. When he should, like, there could have been a take 5 seconds, 10 seconds, be like, okay, our first progression is just going to be a front squat, but I'm going to hold you at the top and I'm going to hold you at the bottom. So I'm going to say down, you're going to go down to the bottom of the squat, fix some things, check you out. Then I'm going to say up, you're going to come up to the front of the squat. It's going to look like this. Down, up, and I'm going to hit y'all at certain points of that. So remember, I'm going to say down, you go down to the bottom of the squat. I'm going to say up, you come up. Here we go. Get set. Right? He did okay with getting them to the front rack position. There could have been a little bit more deliberate, but whatever. Got him there. Good to go. Made some static cues at the top. Good to go. Got him fixed. Down, right? Oh, Man in Black goes down, and he could be like, whoa, Billy, let's get those elbows up. Yeah, good fight for those knees. Nice. All right, cool. And up. Cool. Susie, great depth. You're losing tension in the bottom. I want you to come up a little bit, squeeze your belly. Good. Susie, up, right? Like that. Now he can work his way across. And maybe he adds 15, 30 seconds, but he's fixing so many problems here and establishing cues for later because those problems are going to come back. He's fixing and establishing the cues for when he goes more dynamic. He hasn't even gotten him overhead yet. And he, like, that guy in the black shirt has no business going overhead yet if he's going to do a front squat like that. Right. So there you go. That would be my.
I can tell that he it's one of those things too, like you said, like he's all right. So even established, like, we're doing the front squat, but then he never said what is it he's looking for in the front squat too. So that's where it's okay, like
I don't
like this guy up front has a few things he need to work on, but like what's the one thing that maybe he needs to fix right now?
Elbows
and
up.
I think he said we're gonna go to the front squat, and he's looking for everything in the front squat right now. And I think that's why
he didn't give himself.
I think he froze himself. I think he overthought, like, all right, I'm gonna watch everything in the front squat, but he didn't have one thing to look at, and now he's seeing it's probably like just the one person right there. Oh crap. A lot of and I didn't really specify. So I think that's also like, did he have one thing that he was looking for? I'm guessing he was looking for it all.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I just want to push back on that. You don't have to tell them what you're looking for. Actually, you shouldn't tell them what you're looking for. Too much information, right?
Yeah.
Push press today. I made it clear. I said one of our goal of like starting at 70%, work to a heavy, no missed reps, control descent, right? Mm-hmm. That was in the CAP class plan, which I liked, but I said that was the focus, single focus. Now, does that mean that's the only thing I'm looking for? No, but I'm not going to tell them I'm looking for the straight up and down hips. I'm looking for your knees to go forward. I'm looking for a tall chest. I'm looking for a full grip. I'm looking for your elbows slightly in front of the bar. I'm looking for everything. Right timing. I'm like, right? Like, no. Just controlled descent, which then allows, if they don't have that, well, then we can work on timing. Then we can work on, heels. Then we can work on the other stuff. But like, you make a good point. I know I've got all that I'm looking for, but if I gave me and them the one thing, so you could have said, on this front squat, I really want y'all to think about tall elbows on the way down. Really get those elbows up. It's the dynamic. They're not going to always stay up, but on this first front squat, I really want to see those high elbows, right? Like that could be something. And now he's like,
even then, because you like high elbows, well, they probably like. I'm also not going to say get your elbows up, but also lift your chest up, but also like all those little
one thing, right?
Yeah.
Try to lift your elbows up and put your chest down. You can't do it. The elbows come up, everything else is coming up.
That's what chickens feel like when they're still in the egg. Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
poor Todd. This is good. Todd's good.
Todd's good.
All right, we're 40 seconds in. We've gotten so far.
Let's go.
Go ahead and squat. Nice. And elbows up just a little bit. There we go. And stand. And squat.
His elbows got better.
Why is he letting them not go to full depth? Right? Like,
one more
get
here,
Mr.
guys.
Redshirt to depth.
Aaron,
Eyes
push your
up,
knees
elbows
forward,
up,
go
brother.
and
Oh, he's
stand.
not looking at
Cool,
him.
go ahead and relax. You guys can flag pull that bar.
He never cued guy in black shirt. He never cued guy in red
I'm
shirt.
I'm just going to say squat. You're going to go down and
I think
up.
he
And what I
cued
want
him,
from you guys is
I think he cued guy in red shirt. He cued the guy in red shirt, elbows up, and he got his elbows up. And then every rep after that, he put him back
was
down. So
he never looped back around to get the feedback. So this is so again, I think that is a byproduct of he put them in the wrong positions. He's got too many rows. He's got too many columns. He could have put them into 3 columns. 4. I think I saw 12 people total. He could put them in 4 columns of 3 rows and boom, or 3 columns of 4 rows, and then it's he's checking this. You had us do it in last weekend or 2 weekends, whatever, last coaches meeting, right? Where I'm watching 1 row static fixing, then I say down. I'm watching their static. I'm watching kind of like both rows dynamic, fixing static, up, moving, down, fixing, up, fixing, moving, down, right? Like I'm losing my track, but you know what I'm like. But that way, like dink, dink, dink. Then what I can do is I can go to the side, dink, 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 dink. 10 reps, right? 10 front squats with a barbell. I think that's a pretty good warm up so far.
Yeah.
People will be a little out of breath, kind of sweaty, especially if I'm holding them in the bottom for about 5-10 seconds.
They'll be ready to put that bar down any second now.
2 minutes. That's 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes of just front squats. And I would say I could get everybody to 90 to 95% good front squat movement. Full range of motion, hips, midline stability, frontal bar stays in the frontal plane, weight stays in the heels. Right?
There you go.
That's what I'm looking for my triage of things. Although I think I'd put the heels a little bit further back. You know, like earlier in my sequence there.
Yeah.
I don't feel that he got them. Like just watching at the end there, their movement, he did not get them to that place.
No. And at this point, guy in black shirt, would you? I mean, he already has the barbell. Are you still going to work him with the barbell and improve him on the barbell? Or are you going to, hey, let's get some dumbbells and work that rack? Yeah. I would assume, unless this guy is like brand new, that's almost something too. Like, look at that guy. Like you could tell the way he was standing. Like, he's really tight up there in that shoulders, that upper back. And
maybe this comes back to like technically sure, but maybe he's like really, really grumpy. Like maybe he's like, I gotta work on the barbell. My name is Harry, and God damn it, I come to CrossFit to do barbell work. You can't tell me.
I will tell you, in my entire career of coaching here at Fairwinds CrossFit, there has not been a person that reminds me of that's been grumpy in any way whatsoever. Moving on.
A little bit of speed to get some momentum on the bar coming up. It's going to look like this.
So you're talking about the power coming out of the squat.
So as you stand up, you're trying to drive through your heels and squeeze your legs. So once again, so I'll say go. It's just down and right back up. Try to pick up speed as you're standing. So go ahead and pick up that bar again. Take that grip, thumbs length away from the smooth part. Jump it up onto your shoulders.
Black shirt hair is pretty strong.
That squat stance.
Good looking.
Yeah.
Nice. Jab feet out a little bit.
I don't comment on people.
Meredith, feet out a little bit wider again.
So you can tell
he loves Q and Meredith. He loves Q and Meredith.
He does. His heart rate's up. You can hear it in his breathing. His heart rate's up right now. His heart is racing.
He's nervous.
He's doing great. They're all moving.
Tough.
Yeah.
And go. Nice. Don't worry about pausing at the bottom for me, Aaron. And go. Good. Ed, see if you can get a little bit lower. Drive those knees nice and
cue the guy in the black shirt.
There we go. That's it, Ed. And go. Good. And go. Cool. Go ahead and flag pull your bar.
Oh, he looked like that.
Oh, it's totally, he's done. Right? Like 3 reps. He cued 1 person.
Yeah.
You're telling me when
he's looking twice.
When he's looking down that center section, he doesn't see both guys in black shirts. Why didn't he cue them at all? Like you're telling this is where they would have crushed him at the level 2.
Yeah.
You're telling me I saw you see them. You're telling me you're okay with their movement.
Right.
Wait, no, no. Well, then why didn't you say something to them?
Yeah.
Like that's that. And when I remember when they said that to me, I'm like, God dang it. That's it. Because I don't want to make them feel bad. Because I don't want to bother them. Because it's like they're here to be bothered. Like, bother them. Get them moving better.
I can totally I don't know how long Todd's been coaching, but I can definitely like
I'm sorry. Shelly just texted me. She's watching. She said he's black shirt colorblind. He can't see the guys in the black shirt. Shelly, that was funny. That was really funny.
Thank you, Shelly. Yeah, I don't know how long Todd's been coaching, but I can I guess empathize, sympathize, whatever. I don't know which word I'm looking for, those two. But from like he sees this guy up front here, and he's like, in his mind, he's doing the best he can. He's so limited. He's doing the best he can. And I don't want to, in his mind, he's probably like, I could pick apart of this guy all day, but he's doing the best he can.
Just pick one thing then, right?
Yeah, I think he's almost over, like, he can still fix something, even if it's a little bit, but I think he's overcorrecting I don't want to pick on him all day, so I'm not going to pick on him at all. And I think
that would be my sense too. And that's, I bet you they must have, I have a feeling Todd learned a lot from this, because he's like, oh my God, what am I doing? He's too good of a coach, right? Like he's too much of a, like, you can hear it. He gives a shit. Like, so he's probably like, oh my God, I didn't say a single word to that guy. Like, what happens to all of us? I'm sure if I videoed the push press class today, I'd been like, oh my God, I'm staring right at it, and I didn't say anything. Like, what am I doing? That's why perfect is not possible. Like, you just keep working towards better. This is great. This is fun. Sorry, Todd.
This is
I'm just gonna keep apologizing to him.
Yeah. This is also really easy for us because we can see that, like, we get the stop, we get applause, we get to like at it for a second, we get a, like, again, this is like so much extra appreciation for Todd. Like,
it's making me a little nervous. It's making me a little nervous for Saturday.
Yeah, I need to just to, like, so I can feel better about myself. I need a video of myself coaching a class and send it to Pat. Be like, look, I did. If Todd wants to do the same thing to me, I welcome it. Please. I will do it.
That makes me so nervous. But yeah, seriously, time to put money where the mouth is.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know what I mean. Step up to the plate.
Coaches. I don't ask the coaches to do anything that I wouldn't do or haven't done myself. So
yeah.
There you go.
All right. Next.
Right.
Next spot.
JB, how we feeling? All right.
What's he having?
All right. So now we're going to use that momentum coming out of the bottom of our squat to where when we stand and squeeze those legs hard, then we're going to punch the bar up over our head. All right. So it's just going to be a single thruster. It looks like this. Big thing you're thinking about is as you stand, I want you to squeeze your legs first, then punch the bar overhead. You'll hold this overhead position. I'll tell you guys when to reset, all right? Same deal. Find that same grip on the barbell. Full thumbs length away from the smooth part. Jump it back up to your shoulders. Let's get it back to that squat stance. Carol, feet a little bit wider again. Carol, a little bit wider. I know you like to step them out as you squat. Here we go. Single thruster and go. Nice. Hold that overhead position. Crunch your abs down nice and tight. Reset. Good. And go.
Not good.
Ed, good job with.
Let's look at these overheads.
Well, hold on. Oh, no. I want to hear what he said. Like, I want to hear what he said right there.
Press up a little bit harder for me. You got overhead position. Crunch your abs down nice and tight. Reset. Good.
Here we go.
And go.
I'm just waiting. He's watching this third row, obviously.
Good job with the depth. Press up a little bit harder for me, guys. Crunch your abs. Reset.
Who? Guys, who? Right? Okay, so stop that. So, okay. Todd, great job, right? Like, good job, not great job. Sorry. Todd, well done moving around. Well done reshifting your position so you could see it. He's like, right? I feel like he's getting into his groove a little bit. He's forgetting the camera's on him. So good on him there.
Yeah. You can tell, he moved to where he needs to see now the position.
Okay. My question, who are you looking at? This is so when he says, great job on the depth. Okay. I didn't know that was something we were looking for. Clearly he was. So now they know that that's what he was looking for. He's looking for this overhead position. Okay. Guys, press up harder. He says it loud enough that the whole room can hear it. He's clearly watching this third row. Guy in red shirt, woman in black shirt, guy in green shirt. Who needs to press up harder? Why are they pressing up harder? What is it, right? Like, what is that cue fixing? If I'm guy in red shirt, Do I know he's talking to me? Do I not? This is something I do way too much. It's just the shotgun cue to the whole room. Yeah. Yeah. Horrible at it. And I'm like, every time I do it, I'm like,
every time, like, Eric.
And I saw a face today, and they were like, it was this when I said it. They went, and I'm like, God dang it. He doesn't even know I'm talking. He doesn't have no idea I'm talking to him because I didn't say his name. Right. And so I think the guy's name is JB. No, JB was man in the middle, whatever. It doesn't, like, it could be as simple as you're holding them there, right? Like, he's got control of them. What's the rush? Don't get him out of the position. If you want Billy to push up harder, Billy, push, high, press. Susan, you too, press. And then, like, the guy right here be like, why are you ignoring me? You press too, right? Like, so you can even jokingly, like, make it fun and be like, oh, okay, there we go. Excellent. You guys are now in the right position. When we go back, I want you to get there. Here we go. Reset. Go. Boom. Boom. You nailed it. Just like that every time. I'll be back. Right? Moving to the next row. Right? So, like, that's the set yourself up and them to know that you're coming back. So now, this is the move that, like, the level 2 coaches do. You feel the coach coming, you start to move better because you're like, oh shit, they're gonna watch me, right? Now, I don't even have to cue you, and you got better.
Yeah, someone totally did that yesterday in the I think it was a squat clean. I had them in the bottom of the front squat, and I turned and looked at them, and I saw their elbows go. I didn't say a word. I just saw. I was like, you knew what I was going for.
Yeah, you knew it. Don't wait for me next time. Get that shit up, right? Like, that sort of thing. Like, and don't swear. I'm horrible. You stop swearing. But right, like, it's beautiful. And that, so this is Todd. Todd's a good coach. I like this.
That's a beautiful gym. Beautiful gym.
Yeah,
can I say that?
All right.
And go. Nice, Carol. Reset.
Oh, get that.
And go.
He just watched Red Shirt. What's he doing with that head?
Reset. One
Come
more rep
on,
here.
man.
You got to think about squeezing your legs before you punch. And go.
Too many general cues, no names.
That's better. Cool.
To
Reset.
who? Whose was better, right? Like, what was better?
Yeah. So the timing on the way up is legs and then arms, and we want that same sequence in opposite order.
And I would walk this back.
I would walk this
back of it all started with he doesn't have him in the right position. It then started with he's trying to do too much at once. It then cascades into he doesn't have, you said it, he doesn't have a single thing he's looking for. So the progressions don't make sense. He doesn't like that. There is no, like, he is sequencing and layering them on. So right. Like he's Fern talked about this. He is you started on time. You did a general warm up. You did a specific warm up. You layered progressions, blah, blah, blah. Like, you hit it. But then we could zoom in on that and look like, okay, in your layering of progression, did you really layer them? Because I don't know how they layer. But the idea of a progression layering is that they sequence into each other, and that I don't get to move on to the next thing until I'm doing this correctly. Then I get to move on to the next thing. Then I get to move on to the next thing. Not saying that this is going to stay perfect, but I've at least established what I want before I move on, so that when you're not doing this, I can come back and be like, hey, remember I said elbows up. There we go. 9 times out of 10, if I say that, it's going to fix all the other downstream stuff, because that's what an effective layering, sort of the idea of like them moving into each other, allows.
Beautiful. It's funny watching too, the only of the way that people are set up, that group all the way to the left, those 1, 2, 3 that are kind of in a line, that's where I feel like he's probably done his best job. Those 3 that are in the line where everyone else is kind of scattered.
And seeing and identifying what he needs to tell them. He just didn't tell them well. Like, he didn't tell them individually, but I totally agree with you. Yep.
Cool.
Overhead. It should get to your shoulders first as you start to squat. So this time, I'll say go. You're going to do 5 reps, and here's what I want you thinking. It's legs, arms on the way up, then arms, legs on the way down.
Arms, legs.
So notice the bar is getting back to my shoulders. That's what sends me into my next rep, all right? Here we go. Go ahead and find that grip.
I don't know what this progression is. I don't. If I'm the athlete, I don't know what I'm thinking about. I mean, I get it. I know what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
He's trying, right? Like his order of operations, order of sequence, right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want him squatting before the bar's down. Like, but I don't know as the athlete how I'm supposed to feel about this. Like, am I going fast? Like, I guess I'm nitpicking here in a sense, like, but I don't know.
Like, do you think the sequence, like, he made sense? Like the think legs, then arms.
Okay, let me say this.
Okay.
This is going to take 25, 30 seconds,
Uh-huh.
maybe a minute.
Uh-huh.
Is this a better return on investment of that minute than having spent an extra minute getting everybody's front squats better?
I would submit that it does not.
That would be so. What he's doing, I'm not saying it's bad, right? I get it, I understand it, but is this the best return on my investment of time with this group, who I probably only have 45 more seconds of attention before they're like, I'm fucking done with this. Let's put weight on the bar, right? Like, so that's my thing. I'm like, why are we doing these reps? Like, and why did he tell them you're going to do 5? Like, if I'm trying to see something and he says go, by the time he works his way across, he's going to not see the row over here, and because they're going to be done. So it's sort of like what is he watching here to be able to cue if he's not controlling their movement? It's just, there's no return on this investment of time for this progression.
Good call.
Feet back to that squat stance. Once again, when I say go, 5 consecutive reps. Nice. Aaron, go a little bit wider with your feet. There we go.
For God's sakes, Aaron.
A little bit. And go.
Feet, Aaron.
Nice.
First day.
Heck yeah. Keep those elbows up for me, Meredith.
What's nice?
Squeeze your legs before you
What are we
punch.
cheering?
That's better. Yeah, guys.
That was a good cue. He actually said better. I don't know what it was because we weren't watching, but that's okay.
Nice. So here's what I want now. I want you guys to start adding some weight to the bar. I want you guys to take at least 2 sets to get to your working weight. So if you plan on doing 55, do a set of 5 at 45, and then a set of 5 at 55. So 2 sets of 5 to get to your working weight. I'm going to come and talk to you guys about reps for the workout, and then I'll take it from there, all right? So go ahead and start adding some weight.
Just had, right? Okay, cool. That was good. What did he do well? What could he do better? He's a damn nice guy. And he controlled the class, right? Like, what did he do well? Great class management. Great presence. I'm enjoying the class so far.
I think they got a lot of reps in. They got a lot of, like, not too many reps.
They did. You're right. Yeah. And I think we covered the what could he do better. I think just it started, that triage started, like, set yourself up for better success, man, and have more deliberateness in specific cue for specific person. See, cue, verify it worked, right? Like, if he followed that triage a little bit more deliberately, I imagine from what he was seeing when he did identify the specifics, he's got a good enough eye. He's seeing the problems. He's just not effectively directing what needs to change and who needs to change it, and then verifying that he's done that thing. So but like all of what he just did, I'm pretty sure I did it in like multitudes this morning. So, Todd, I feel you, brother. I'm with you.
He said you put him on camera, and that's all of a sudden everything just kind of fall. Like, let's say you're using this whole half of your brain for all your coaching, but now there's a camera on you. Well, that just took about 90. The fact that you're thinking about the camera took about 90% of what you're thinking about. There's about 10% of everything that you need to pay attention to.
Yeah,
but I like that.
You go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
All right, I'll go. We went rock climbing on Sunday with Andrew, and it was all outdoor, top roping, and the folks we were with, they were wearing helmets, which we should wear helmets because you're climbing a rock that people can walk up to the edge and kick rocks over and like hit you in the head with rocks. And so it's like, look, but so Andrew, he wore it, he put the helmet on. He comes off, he goes, God, the second I put that helmet on, I'm like 20% worse of a rock climber. And I'm like, you're totally right. We used to joke, like, you'd have a diver, right? And they'd be sitting on the bench and you'd brief them and they'd repeat back the brief and be like, so what are you doing? Be like, okay, cool. where are your tools? They'd point to all the tools, be like, cool, and you know the job, repeat it back to me, cool. And you go, all right, hat the divers. So you put the hat on, now you're in comms, and you'd be like, diver, point to your head. You're like, fuck's sake. The second they put a helmet on, they are 100% stupider. And I feel like this is the example of your camera. The second you put a camera on, you are instantly a 50% worse coach.
What I do like about the camera, and so I think there's always resistance to it because like nobody wants to watch themselves, but it's like, but what it does though is it is like when I'm sitting back there doing an evaluation, like it is kind of mimicking that. And if you are going to a level 2, it is someone maybe like there is someone watching and you are going to be cued and corrected. And so it's hard. And I understand the discomfort when there's a camera on you, but there's so much about, even if you never watch the video back, just that, like coaching through that helps you. I think it makes you a better coach on the back end. And I don't videotape all your classes, but it is. And then you get to see yourself.
Did you fire up the Nest? Is that live again?
I have not fired that up yet. That's something that's on my to-do list for the next week. That's one of 3 things.
It makes it easy because you could, right? Like if that's just running 24/7, you get it's $100 a year, I think, or like $120 a year.
Yeah.
You get I think it keeps 30 days of video. And so you could, right now, and then you have available to you, I mean, shit, you can basically just say like to the coach, like, here, I cut out the 10 minutes of your the 10 minutes of your whiteboard brief, which, why is your whiteboard brief taking 10 minutes? That's our first problem. But secondly, let's look at what you actually covered in the whiteboard brief, right? Like you've got it already and you could just send it to us type of thing. Or at some point when that job, you hire that job out to a head coach who, right, they're doing that for you.
To be that one.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah,
because you've got all the time in the world in between putting Everett's pants on and chopping up video for your coaches to review.
And trying to make these fun backgrounds for our podcast.
I forgot about that. That's actually definitely better return on investment of your time.
There you go. Forget the timing on the thruster. I'm doing that today.
Man, that was super fun. That's a great reminder. I like that. It's a great reminder of I have gotten back into the bad habit of coaching grenades, and I gotta get away like that. They are useless. Amy was the best at never doing that. Like everything was always like sniper, like right back to somebody, like always specific to somebody. She was. I always just remember like, and same thing. Like if I felt her coming, I always moved better because I was like, oh God. Like I got to move better. Like, yeah.
Amy had this like you just don't want to disappoint Amy.
Yeah, she was a ninja. Like all of a sudden she's behind you. You're like, where'd you come from?
there's so much value in a great job from Amy that you're like, I can't take anything less than that.
Yeah, so, she was that. So like, I remember like, man, she gets to be like, that is just like, everybody is like, she was watching me the whole time. And like, that's impossible, but I know it really felt that way.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, cool. I hope, thanks for doing that.
Heck yeah, man. That was great. Thank you. Like I forgot, I was also that audience. That was very helpful. That was, like Todd ran a fine class. That was a solid bacon cheeseburger. Bun was a little soggy. Fries could have been a little crispier, but yeah.
But overall, I'm satisfied.
100%. It definitely was not a fast food McDonald's burger.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. We've been in those too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Let's wrap it up.
Gratuitous.
Gratuitousness.
You go first.
So mine is it's funny, I've been thinking about it for the last couple of days. So mine is social media. I always go back and forth with social media from like, sometimes I just want to get off it because I'm like, it sucks up so much of, it's so addicting to me. And and there's also like, there's so much stuff on there that just isn't filling my cup. Right. If anything, it's doing the opposite. But every once in a while I come across this, I think social media has been so awesome for the starving artist. So from like I came across this a musician. So he's his name's Ren, and he's one of those people that like he doesn't really fit into a genre. He's not rap, but he does rap, but he plays an acoustic guitar, so it's not like folk, right? He tells stories, like he's a singer-songwriter, but he's also a producer. And it's one of those things, and he's so like he has this series of songs that he wrote that are like, I mean, they're dark and they're gritty, and you can tell he's so good at like telling the story through his lyrics, through his facial expressions, through his guitar. And they're all raw, like no auto tune, like one take. He films this video with him and his guitar and a mic, and he does it. And he's someone who, if it's not for social media, I don't think people get to see him outside of his little place. And he's from England, so like so you see him like, wow, this dude is just like, he's so talented. Like watching him basically like rap while playing the guitar is just mind-boggling. Like I don't know how you have the coordination to do that, other than this is your craft and you've put a lot of time and effort into it. And from his, like, he doesn't care if it ever gets out there, but because of social media, it does get out there. And people get to see and experience it, and it's doing the thing that he wants it to do, is reach people, and maybe people get something from it. So it's as much as I poo-poo on social media sometimes, there's also there's this really cool spot that like there are these creators and there's artists out there that may never get this exposure if not for this thing that reaches bazillions of people.
Yeah,
that's mine.
Cool. That's a good one. I like that. Access. That's cool.
Yeah.
Mine's so it's we had like a bunch of leftovers left redundant from Thanksgiving, a couple of pieces of pie, like a lot of pie, and then we had bought a chocolate pie that Nicole had wanted for Thanksgiving on Thursday, but like didn't work out. We did not get the chocolate pie we wanted, so we bought the one we wanted on Saturday and enjoyed it, because I mean, why not have more pie? It's Thanksgiving weekend. I mean, and it extends to Monday. So I'm cleaning out the fridge on Monday, and there's still pie left, and I so did not want to throw it away, and I so wanted to throw it away, and Joy's voice came into my head, and I was so grateful for her deliberateness. I mean, you've probably been out to eat with her, and she like take one bite of something. Like she will buy the full dessert, buy the full meal, whatever, and take one bite and be done. Yeah. And I'm always like, how do you do that? But because what she says is, I don't care. I've already paid for it. Why am I going to feel like I have to eat the whole thing and make myself feel horrible? I've already paid for it. Whether I eat one bite or eat the whole thing, I just want the joy, the enjoyment of the thing. And that means I only need a bite. I only need a taste. Yeah. And I'm like, that's such a great, because that is what a waste. I say to myself, like, I've paid for this thing. I should eat the whole thing. So basically, I should pay to make myself feel like shit. No, like pay to make yourself feel good, which means one bite. And so I'm looking at this chocolate pie in the fridge, and I'm like, I don't want it. I don't want it right now. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but you're going to want it later. And then you're going to be guilty. And you feel that, what a waste. And you're going to be like, I shouldn't have wasted it. And I'm like, you're an idiot. Throw the pie away. And that's, Joy would never say that. She's much nicer. Like, but it was in her voice that I heard that. To me. But with such love and care. And I was like, what? Right. Throw the friggin' pie away. Like I had it. I'm good. Like I don't need it. Not to mention, if I really want it, they sell them at Sam's, right? Yeah. Like for $8. I can go get another one if I want it. Welcome to America.
Right? The whole thing on the ride home if I really wanted to. Right. I really, really wanted to.
So I was so grateful, and it was gone, and everything was gone. And I have felt in just 24 hours, 40 hours, I feel so much better, because if that shit was still in the fridge, I would have eaten it all. And I was so I was just like, so my gratitude is that little voice. And this time it took the version of Joy, but throwing all of that stuff away, it's okay. I know it's wasteful, and I know blah, 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 but like, look, like it's all there. I had the enjoyment. I was grateful for the enjoyment. And I'm also now grateful for having the awareness to be like, get rid of this crap. Like
Get rid of
it's
it,
gone.
yeah.
It can go. Like, and so it's okay.
It's your
Take one
purpose.
bite and walk away. And that was it. That was my gratitude. So thanks, Joy. Thanks for being a little voice in my head.
There you go. Good. Awesome. What a good day.
Yeah, man, that was fun.
Sun is shining, the snow is falling. There we go.
That's so weird. How is this happening? I love it.
All
I love
right.
technology.
All right, dude. Same time
All right,
next
man.
week.
Always.
All right. We're out of here in 3,